Oh, geez. How do people in this community wear masks? Like over their faces? This is hot. Oh, geez. This is hot. Like I can't. Oh gosh, I can't breathe right now. I can't. I can't breathe. Oh gosh. Here, let me just fix this angle here. Come on, camera. You just work with me here, bro. That's not okay. That's nope. That's not what I want you to do. Stay. Okay. God. Finally, I can breathe now. Jesus. You know what? The lengths I go for you people, these are pajama pants. Whew, I was looking for a bandana. I couldn't find one. Oh god. Oh my face is so hot right now. did you did you guys enjoy that intro? um yep. I don't know what that was. I just came up with that. Hang on, quick break. Okay. Just answering someone real quick. I don't know what that intro was. I just came up with this weird idea during work today. Like, hey, what if I did some weird thing to Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin? And that's what happened. Kind of inspired from my face reveal on Twitter. I was wearing these glasses in that picture I posted. Everyone kind of flipped out. They were like, OMG, it's a face reveal. I'm like, nah, I did the same thing on my Florida vlog. Just the viewfinder covered my mouth and I had sunglasses on. So it's oh boy. Sorry this took so long to actually start. I was, if you didn't see, I put in the chat earlier, I was rendering a video. I was actually rendering this Thursday's video. It's an unboxing video. For those of you who are angry, I haven't done an unboxing video in a while. I'm doing one this Thursday. So I was sorry again. I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm messaging them. But anyway, welcome to the replacement July stream. If you did not see the update video that I put out last Thursday, which not a lot of you did, a reflection of the view count there, I am keeping the original July stream that I did the first week in July private because that got a little out of hand with NoobCon. And NoobCon kind of caused some controversy, even though it was just a joke. But we had some people get angry at us because of that, because noob has a negative connotation, apparently, even though the group that I'm in on Skype kind of embraces that stereotype. A lot of them are younger, not kids per se, they're younger users or newer users. So they were just like, oh yeah, we're basically called noobs and decided to, kind of perpetuate that name and say, hey, we're the noobs and we're strong. But it was just a joke. But in order to avoid controversy, I'm going to keep it down. No reason to keep that back up. There was some funny things that did happen in that stream, but just going to go ahead and keep it down. So this live stream is serving as a replacement for that stream. So hopefully it's bigger and better than the last time. The intro to this live stream was definitely better than the intro to that other live stream where I danced in my desk chair to the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. I'll have to take a look at how that intro went down after the stream is uploaded because I don't know how it came off. I'm just looking at it through the live thing here. That's a lot of dabs. That's more dabs than one person should do. Hang on a second here. Oh, almost dropped my phone. Okay, I have not been reading chat, so I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm sorry if you were putting questions in there. I don't read chat while I'm on here. I'm gonna say hello to everybody. Hello, Qdar Allen, Sheriff Duncan Flynn, J Game Guy 17. Hey, you're new. I think I haven't seen you before. Are you new? I think you're new. You're not one of the regular live stream people. Hey, Creepernator. I remember you, dude. Thomas Katie, Henry, my guy. What's good? Not Crimson 2091. The other Henry. What's good, my guys? Ah, I see here some people thought this was going to be a face reveal. You thought so. Hello, Donald 9, Douglas 10, Oliver 11, Aaron Vasquez, Oliver the Grand says this is one way to start a stream. Yeah, it is, my guy. You won't see anybody else doing that. Sort of a face reveal, says Sheriff Duncan Flynn. Aaron says I revealed my ears. I did that on Twitter, my guy. Also in my Florida vlog. What is good? What's happening here? Sheriff Duncan Flynn says that was an awesome intro. I hope I entertained you. I really hope I do. That's never gonna. I'm never gonna live that one down. I'll probably see that on Twitter moments after the stream ends. Okay, so you are new, Jay, game guy. Nice to see you. We enjoyed seeing your sexy dance skills. Not really that good. Was your birthday, dude? It was good. It was good. I am now 19, and it's very weird considering the fact that I feel like I should still be 12 years old. And and debating on making a YouTube channel. It's been 6 years. Wow, kind of crazy. Noise dancing. Thank you. How was Ant-Man and the Wasp? It was good. I did see Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think I talked about that in the previous stream that I was going to see it a day early because I'm not press. I don't have press passes, so seeing it a day early is kind of a big deal, at least to me. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I honestly think that I think I like it better. Not better than Infinity War. Definitely not. No, Infinity War is my number one film of this year because Infinity War is perfect. Um, but I think, do I like it better than Black Panther? I think Black Panther is a better film compositionally, but I think I would have watched Ant-Man and the Wasp over Black Panther. I think it's more entertaining than Black Panther. Then again, I've seen Black Panther 3 times, and I've only seen Ant-Man and the Wasp once, so my opinions have not really been solidified. Mega AJ Funk demands a face reveal. Ah, funny. I pity you. There will come a day where you will have to do an HMR of Big World, Big Adventures. You know, I've debated about that, Creepernator. I I don't I don't know, man. I've thought about it. I've thought about skipping it. I haven't made the decision whether or not I'm actually going to cover it. If I am going to cover it, it's going to be next year. It doesn't fit in the schedule. If Big World Big Adventures releases in August or in September, like in the fall or something, it's not going to fit within the schedule I have currently through with HMR. I have HMR planned out until next year. So if I do cover it, it will be next year. I'm not going to waste my time trying to fit it into the schedule this year. I have way too much stuff already I need to fit into the schedule this year. Commercial break, my guys. Okay, and we're back. Sorry, I just had to tell my friend I was live streaming and I couldn't talk anymore. But I have debated about it, and if I do cover it, it's going to be next year. Noob calling all the people who are angry were pathetic man children. That's a big statement. Henry, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think they had the right idea of saying that, hey, NoobCon is kind of has a negative connotation to it. The word noob has a negative connotation to it because in the past, I know I've used it myself as a derogatory term for guys I didn't like. But nowadays no one really uses it anymore. It's kind of a dead insult. So I thought NoobCon myself was hilarious. But jokes dead. Jokes die all the time. Lego liver dab on them haters because you the best boy. I am. Thanks, Henry. Um, yeah, Goldstone 2004. I have seen Avengers Infinity War. Seen it twice in theaters. Pre-ordered the steelbook from Best Buy. Gonna be picking that up on August 14th. Because oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like I love for texting and other stories. Yes, thank you, Phase Black Goku. Um, I've actually been watching the streams for a while. Oh, thanks, J Game Guy. I just haven't seen you comment before. Have you seen the new open season movies from Gum Robber? No, I saw the first one. Guitar Allen asks, I should unbox the Bachman Thomas set. Which Bachman Thomas set? I'm not spending my money on Bachman because I don't know. I just don't want to. I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp last Wednesday and thought it was way cool. Thanks, Henry. Creepinator thought it was also great. Have I listened to the new 5 Seconds of Summer album? What am I? What do I look like? A giant homosexual? Nah, I'm kidding. No, I don't like 5 Seconds of Summer. My ex liked 5 Seconds of Summer, though. That end credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, though. Dude, I saw it coming a mile away, but I was still kind of like, wow, it's kind of bold. You don't know the end credit scene to Ant-Man and the Wasp ties into the events of Infinity War. I'm not saying how it ends. I had somebody in the previous stream spoil it, which was horrible. Hopefully he's not here tonight. I'm not going to say who it was. So some people say that Black Panther is a fair movie, but I haven't seen it. Black Panther is really good. I really enjoy Black Panther. DVD is coming out soon. For the Big World Big Adventures DVD? Maybe in the UK. I don't think here in the US. What are my thoughts on Jurassic World? The first Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom? I hate Fallen Kingdom. I discussed this in the previous stream. Fallen Kingdom is awful. Um, do I bleh. Jurassic World? I think it's good. It's perfectly entertaining. Not great, but it's good for what it is. Why don't I own the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on Blu-ray? Because it's too expensive on eBay. Plus, that's not a priority. Okay. It's not a priority for me. I don't know. I just don't want to. This is how I rank this year's Marvel flicks: Ant-Man and the Wasp, Black Panther, Avengers, Infinity War. Wow, Infinity War is last? Can I ask why, Creepernator? I would say Avengers Infinity War is first. By far, it's the best film this entire year, at least from what I've seen. I don't see every film in theaters. I'm not crazy. Hey, Percy fan 107. Now I'm waiting for Captain Marvel. So am I, Aaron. This is the longest time in between Marvel films, I think, since Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2, because Incredible Hulk was 2008, Iron Man 2 was 2010. That was a year gap. Here, Ant-Man and the Wasp was July, Captain Marvel's in March. I don't want to count how many months that is. It's a long time, basically. There is no Infinity War Steelbook from Target, Aaron. Target doesn't have a Steelbook. Best Buy has the Steelbook. Henry says, bet Lego lovers texting his girlfriend. you, you, you're funny, Henry. Still single over here, my dudes. Am talking to a few people, though. And I'm saving myself for marriage, he said, booty call. Well, will I ever watch the Emoji Movie? Um, I watched the Nostalgia Critic review of the Emoji Movie. I'll never watch the movie itself. Will I get Bachman Oliver? I want. Here's the thing with me and Oliver. I want an Oliver in every single range. So at some point, I will probably cave and buy a Bachman Oliver. Wow, I guess Lego Lover cares more about whoever he is texting than he does us. Sorry, Henry. This is a good friend of mine. I think they finally got the message, though, that I'm live streaming and can't talk right now. Yeah, Aaron, there is an exclusive Target version. Okay, yeah. You clarified that. I haven't looked at what the exclusive Target version is. I'm assuming it's like Thor Ragnarok's exclusive where it has the production or art of book. I missed out on Target exclusives with Last Jedi, even though I really wanted it, but oh well. Okay, it is at the top. You ranked it backwards, Creepernator. He's talking about his rankings of his MCU films. Okay, I didn't see that. My apologies, my guy. Too expensive? That confuses me. I wanted a double pack with sponge out of water. It was only $10 at Walmart. Gum robber, my Walmart isn't like yours, okay? My Walmart is not cool. Maybe. I'm not really sure. Am I planning on reviewing Thomas seasons 8 through 11? That's a weird question. I kind of already did that. Have you heard of a show called Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews? I've basically done that for the last 2 years. Playroll is so expensive. Yeah, Playroll Oliver is going to be expensive. That's why I'm not really. That's not on my priorities list right now. Thomas stuff in general is not on my priorities list right now. To be honest, I'm kind of ready for home media reviews to end. I mean, behind me on my TV, I've got Extraordinary Engines paused. It's like the second day that I've attempted to watch it. It's not that it's bad. It's just that I had other stuff that I've wanted to watch more on top of that. And right now, like watching Thomas feels like a job because I have to do it for, um, home media reviews. So I'm just kind of ready. I'm kind of ready to take a break from it for a while and start up my new show that will be not replacing it, but kind of taking its place. I've talked about this in previous live streams. I'm planning on doing a spin-off to Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews that's just called Home Media Reviews that deals with reviews of some of my Blu-rays, some of my other films that don't relate to Thomas and Friends. And I'm kind of ready to do that. I don't know. Home Media Reviews is just kind of It's not that I don't enjoy making the series anymore. It's just it feels more like an obligation rather than fun. I will see it through to the end. I'm not saying that I'm going to quit doing it or anything. I will see it through to the end of 2018, but I'm hoping that in January, when it's all said and done and finished, I'm hoping that if I take a few months off of making that kind of content, then hopefully I'll be rejuvenated for the regular home media reviews to launch, because I do want to do that series one day. I enjoy talking about different aspects of home media, not just Thomas and Friends home media, and it gives me an outlet to review more films on this channel because I'm a big movie nerd. You guys know that. I do it on my personal Instagram all the time, but you guys never get to see that because it's my personal Instagram. Plus, they're written reviews because I don't typically do well with the classic like sit down in front of a camera and just talk about a film. Um, I have done reviews like that in the past, but I don't know. They just never sit right with me. Like, I don't feel like they're ever as good as I think they can be. So if I do it in the home media review style, where I'm behind the camera and I can just say whatever I want, I feel like that works better, at least for me, or just writing my reviews like I do on my personal Instagram. But Thomas and Friends gets you lots of views. Yes, it does, QDAR, but when I run out of home media reviews for Thomas and Friends, what am I going to do? Sit around and wait? Nah, I want to get a new series going. Plus, I think you guys will like the spinoff. It's not, like I said, it's not replacing Thomas and Friends home media reviews. That series obviously takes priority because that's the moneymaker on this channel. But ad revenue is in the toilet right now, so it really doesn't matter. I don't do it for the money. But yeah, I keep reading chat questions while talking, and it just screws up my head. I can't multitask like that, guys. My apologies. What's the weirdest thing I've seen in real life? I don't know. I've seen a lot of weird things. I'm not sure. I can't answer that. It's weird. Get Hello Neighbor on mobile. What's Hello Neighbor? I don't have a Switch. You don't do it for the money, you do it for us, you beautiful fan. Yeah, I do, Henry. And I know that sounds cheesy, like, oh, I don't do it for the money, I do it to entertain the people. But it's true. I don't mean to brag or anything, but like, I don't do it because I make a small amount of money. I don't make a lot of money. Like, I can go ahead and tell you right now, my AdSense is at 50 bucks. Like, I don't make a lot of money off of these videos. I get paid maybe once every 2 months, which is fine to have like an extra 100 in the account, but I don't make a lot of money off of these. And if that was my sole motivation, I would have stopped a long time ago. But I do it because I enjoy entertaining people. I enjoy talking about the aspect of Thomas and Friends on home media. I enjoy talking about home media. That's the whole reason why I want to start regular home media reviews, because I'm passionate about that stuff and it gives me an outlet to discuss different types of films with you all. And I hope you guys are accepting of that when the series eventually premieres. I haven't recorded anything for it yet. I'm waiting to do that until like maybe early 2019, late 2018 is when I'll start production on that series. I still need to like officially announce it too. Like, this is all, I don't know. I did say I want to do it, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. It's on a live stream, so it's a very unprofessional outlet, but it's basically confirmed that it's going to happen eventually. Do you have Dream Voice? Voice Dream? I don't know what that is, Percy fan. Hi, Arsdale Engine 90. I think are you new? I don't think I've seen you before. I recognize the peeps that watch my streams religiously. I'm kidding, but I recognize a lot of the people that pop up in these streams every time I have one. Have you watched Shed 17? Nope. I've not watched Shed 17 because I don't like horror, don't care for horror, and I don't plan on watching it or the sequel. Sheriff Duncan Flynn's excited for the new series. It sounds great. He loves movies in general. Thanks, dude. Okay, Arzillian says he's not new. Okay, maybe it's been a while. Your name sounds familiar. I know how you feel about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I did not like Pacific Rim Uprising, but I'm a huge fan of the first one. See, I bought the first one on Blu-ray because I thought, hey, why not? This might be a fun watch. I didn't like the first one at all. Like, I don't know, the action sequences were fun, I guess, but it was just so underwhelming. And then I didn't even see Uprising in theaters. I still haven't seen Uprising. I don't care enough to watch Uprising. But I was talking to my one of my guys from my church who leads my youth group. His name's Josh. Me and him are like friends and stuff. Like he's technically our youth minister, but he's basically like our friend to everybody in that youth group. But me and Josh were talking about it, and he said he liked Pacific Rim more in the theater because it was on a larger screen and like everybody in the audience was into it. So he had a better experience watching it in the theater than he did when he bought it and tried to watch it at home. He said he hated it at home, and I regret not seeing that in theaters now because I feel like I would have been the same way. Do I have hit favorite DVDs? Nah, I've seen them. I've seen them in the Walmart $5 bin. Never thought to pick one up. Uprising is not good. Didn't like the first one. You're not gonna like it. Yeah. I will more than likely never own Uprising. I've seen it in Walmarts for the last week and a half or so since it came out. Actually, came out a little longer than that, further back than that. But I will probably never own Uprising because I don't care. Didn't care about the first one. I basically only watched it so I could listen to the Now Playing review of it. Now Playing, if you didn't know, I think I've talked about it on the show, on, on this show, on stream before. I I listen to a podcast religiously, pretty much called Now Playing Podcast. It's basically a podcast reviewing movies, new and old. That's what it says on their Twitter. It's hosted by three guys for the most part: Arnie, Stewart, and Jacob. Sometimes you get Justin in there. Sometimes Brock's there. Sometimes Arnie's wife Marjorie is there. There's a multitude of hosts, but mainly it's Arnie, Stewart, and Jacob, and they talk for about an hour to an hour and a half about different films. Some of their reviews are like 2 hours. Some of them are 2 hours and 45 minutes, like their Infinity War review. That was a monster show and a really good show too. I really want to re-listen to that. But basically, I hate listening to their reviews when I haven't seen the film. I remember once I tried to listen to their Fast and Furious retrospective series where they reviewed all 8 of the Fast and Furious films. That was back before I had seen the first 2 Fast and Furious films. I listened to the first podcast. I got nothing out of it because I hadn't seen the film. So I said to myself then, I'm not going to listen to any of their reviews unless I've seen the film. So, and I wanted to listen to the Pacific Rim review, so I watched the movie, and it made a hell of a lot more sense now that I'd seen the movie. Voice Dream is an application that helps you read, or you can play with your voice. Is that you want to review a text, and I sometimes use it, but I mostly like read my Thomas Spanish books. Okay, it's like a translator app. No, I don't. I don't use it. Did you get confused with the story of Jurassic World? Because I did. Not the first Jurassic World. No, I thought it was pretty straightforward. They create a dinosaur, it wreaks havoc, it eats some people, and apparently raptors are going to be used as weapons, but Vincent D'Onofrio gets killed. Now, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom story is held together by a thread. I'm being generous calling that a story. I seriously think Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the worst film I've seen this year. It's wow. I I did talk about it. Um, I did talk about it in my last stream, but I hate Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I can barely talk about it now because it's just a nothing film. It's literally nothing. Why do I keep saying Toby does nothing? He did something in season 21. That's a joke, but also kind of serious. I don't think Toby should be considered a main character. Toby has no like not redeeming qualities, but he just doesn't do a lot. Like in your comment, Gum Rubber, you say he helped. He put a coach in the siding for James to break apart by going so fast and hasty. Hannah, yeah, that makes sense, but he shouldn't be a main character. He's more of a supporting character. Has anyone else noticed that the Jurassic World soundtrack sounds a lot like a Harry Potter soundtrack? No, I haven't seen any of the Harry Potters, dude. I own them all. I explained that in my last stream. My mom actually ordered something off of Groupon, and they accidentally sent her the 8 film collection of Harry Potter. So she gave it to me because she already owns it. So she was like, here you go. You can have this. I didn't see Show Dogs, Aaron, so I can't say. Like I said, I don't see everything. But so far, the only stinker this year for me has been Jurassic World 2. And that's a pretty good thing. Pretty good ratio. Do I know the YouTuber Northwestern 04? Never heard of him, sorry. Okay. I keep looking over to my left here, right for you guys, but left for me. Oh, Creeper Nair, I didn't see Greatest Showman, but I have a lot of friends who are like, "Oh, it's amazing! It's great!" Like, I'll go ahead and say her name here. My friend Katie loves that film for some reason. Every time I bring it up or make fun of it, she's like, "No, it's great!" And then she proceeds to beat me with a Bible because we're at church all the time when I see her, and I'm just like, "Nah, I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of people say it wasn't that great, but hey, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't say." Anyway, I keep looking over here to my left. Again, right for you guys, but left for me. My left, at least. And I've got a bunch of Blu-rays sitting over here that I showcased in my last stream, and even more since then, because I've picked up a few things since then. Or actually, I didn't show a few things last time. I've only picked up 2 new things since last stream. But I want to do another update. I want to show you guys these again. Do you guys care if you? I know a lot of you here were here last time, but do you guys care if I show them off again? I'll do it quick. I promise. I'll do it quick. Except for the stuff that I haven't showed off before. Oh, I mentioned this in my unboxing video that I'm going to upload this Thursday, but Captain America. I went to a Walmart that's by my job, and they had the exclusive Captain America from Infinity War that I haven't seen in person. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up on stream because I did say that in the video, and I have to commit to what me this afternoon said. So here it is. That's cool. Basically, the difference is between this cap and the regular cap from Infinity War, which I have right here, is that this version has the Wakandan shields out and he's in an action pose. This one over here, which is the regular one, is just kind of like meandering around. He's like, hey, what's good, Thanos? I'm going to stop your glove, and then you're going to punch me. And people in the theater, for some reason, thought I was dead when you did that. So I'm actually replacing the regular cap with this cap in my little display setup I've got up here. I'll show it to you towards the end of the stream, I suppose. Why not? Kind of cool. Oh, that's awesome. That is cool. So just close that back up. There's the box without the pop in it. Put that in my pop wall later. So, oh, I just hiccuped. Ow. You guys hate hiccups? I hate hiccups. I haven't gotten any answers about the Blu-ray showcase. If I don't get an answer within the next 2 minutes, I'm going to do it. Remember in a Nathan Butler live stream, you said you were interested in taking a look at Blade Runner 2049. Have you had a chance to watch it yet? Yeah, Creepernator, I have. I have seen Blade Runner 2049. I own Blade Runner 2049 actually, and it's okay. It's better than the first one, but it's overly long, overly complex, and takes itself way too seriously. Still don't like the first Blade Runner. I still think it's bad. I think it's overly boring. Okay, everyone's saying show the Blu-rays now. I guess that point in the stream just popped up. So, okay. These are in the same order as last time for the most part. For the most part, they're in chronological order. I tried. So the first one, I remember I showed this off last time because Gum Robber was asking me, why don't you own Lilo and Stitch on Blu-ray? I do. You've already seen this, but Lilo and Stitch Steelbook from the UK. It's pretty sweet. I like it a lot. There's the inside. There's no artwork behind the disc. And the reason you know it's from the UK, apart from the UK ratings on the disc, the UK Blu-ray steelbooks have these little like cups or trays that you put them in. So yeah, the artwork lines up there. You've got your UK and Ireland ratings down there at the bottom. And there's the back of the tray. If you remember earlier, the back of the actual steelbook is Stitch and David on a oh geez, on a wave. And I love this film. The film is great. And if you're wondering why there's like a line here or why the lenticular part ends, it doesn't take up the whole case, is because this is actually a magnet. You can just, I don't want to take the whole thing off, but it's actually a magnet and there's regular artwork underneath it. It just looks weird without the lenticular cover on it because the case is actually sunk in to where the magnet can sit inside of the tray and look semi-equal, but without the magnet, it just looks weird. So I keep the lenticular magnet on there. But there's the spine. Lilo and Stitch. I love this film. It definitely is in my top 10 films of all time list. I think it's great. It's a childhood classic of mine and still holds up today. Way more than Magic Railroad does. Oh boy, Magic Railroad was another childhood classic of mine that I think is just really bad. So, continuing with Steelbooks, Avengers from Best Buy. This is a Best Buy exclusive. This Steelbook has exclusive art from, I think his name is Matt Ferguson? Yes, Matt Ferguson. So, oh, sorry, Oliver the Grand. I'll see you later, dude. He says he's got to go. Everybody say bye to Oliver the Grand. Anyway, very simplistic steelbook here. I really like it, though. It's very slippery, sleek. There's the side of it. Open it up. It's got the same artwork from the cover. There's the disc. I bought this. I already own Avengers on Blu-ray, but I bought the steelbook because it's a steelbook, obviously. This version is going to go. One day it's going to be rare. I know that because a lot of people don't rebuy films that they own already. A lot of people don't buy films in general. That's why physical media itself is a dying format, and it sucks. But I rebought it because of the steelbook and because it's going to be valuable one day and because of the code, the digital copy code. I didn't get a code with my original Blu-ray release that I picked up off of eBay. In fact, I don't think the regular Blu-ray that I had came with a digital code back in 2012, but this one did. So I now own the digital copy of Avengers as well as the DVD, 2 Blu-ray copies, actually 2 DVD copies as well. I own the regular standard DVD version, the regular Blu-ray version, that's the combo pack, and now the Steelbook version from 2018. So on the same day, I also picked up Avengers Age of Ultron. Tell right here, this is red sky and all that. Again, exclusive art from Matt Ferguson. Very cool, very simple, but I love them. Same artwork on the inside. You guys couldn't tell, this is basically what the new home media review show is going to be. This is like a close-up section. Fine. And then about a week later, I went back to another Best Buy and picked up Captain America Civil War because I was ashamed that I went and pre-bought this one as well. But again, Steelbook, value down the road, and also the code. So I can watch them wherever I want. I actually watched this on the way back from Florida, so the code came in handy there. And this is one of the best MCU films. I mean, I swear I gotta buy as many copies of this as I can. This one actually might be my favorite out of the three because it's just so beautiful. There's the side, there's the back. I apologize for the glare. There's the inside. These things are slippery as hell, too. Like, you just barely... I'm just barely moving my fingers, and they're sliding all around there. Okay, there we go. Gum Robber says, it's kind of funny because a few days ago I went to Half Price Books and I got Finding Nemo on the 3D Blu-ray, but when I got it, the particular part wasn't on it, but the title is embossed. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, Gum Robber. Did you get... So, you just got the 3D disc, or does it have all of them? Does it have the 3D, the regular Blu-ray, all that stuff? The best MCU film, in my opinion, was Captain America Winter Soldier, says Creepernator. I gotta say, dude, I think Infinity War is one of the best MCU films. I think all three Avengers films are great. The first one is very near and dear to my heart. It's my favorite film of all time. Avengers Age of Ultron I love, even though it's very flawed, but I love it. It's just so fun to watch. And then Infinity War is just a great drama. But naming them off, my favorites of the MCU would definitely be all three Avengers films. The first Iron Man, Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, actually. Thor Ragnarok was so great. And then I need a fifth one. Iron Man 3. Screw it. Iron Man 3. I love Iron Man 3. So anyway, we're going to move along now to the Lethal Weapon 4-pack. I picked this up from Target for $10 after a doctor's appointment one day, about 2 weeks after I bought those steelbooks. Still haven't watched any of them. I've been on vacation this last week, and these didn't have any codes with them, so I couldn't take them with me. And the house I stayed at did not have a single Blu-ray player in it, so I was really sad. All I had was DVD players. In case you were wondering, the discs are double stacked. That's why you're only seeing 2 discs. They didn't cheat me or anything. There's not, oh, just Lethal Weapon 1 and 3 are only included. Dude, you got cheated. Nah. Boop. They're just double stacked, and I really don't like that from Blu-ray releases. Thor Ragnarok should have been of what the Thor film should have been all along. I agree. Thor Ragnarok was redeeming for the Thor franchise. But I actually think the first Thor is a bit underrated. I really enjoyed the first Thor. Thor the Dark World, though, worst film in the MCU by far. I like The Incredible Hulk more than Thor the Dark World. And The Incredible Hulk is bad. So after Lethal Weapon, actually, I think these might have been before Lethal Weapon. See, I told you I don't know the chronological order of these. But what's in the stack right now, Tomb Raider, 2018. I really enjoyed Tomb Raider. Oh, bye, Arsdale Engine. He says he's bored, so he left. Bye, pal. Sorry to lose you. I did see Ready Player One Creepinator. I thought it was fine, but Tomb Raider, I think, is the best video game movie ever made. And that's really not saying much, but I do think this is a legitimately good film. This one from 2018. And I wasn't even going to see it. I had just seen Black Panther in February, and this came out in March. I hadn't been to the theater in a good 3 to 4 weeks, so I got my friends together. I roped them in to see this. I said, you know what? Tomb Raider's the big thing coming out this weekend, so let's all go see it. And it turns out we all had a pretty fun time with this. I did a vlog on it, so if you want to check that out, look up Lego Lover 117 Tomb Raiders R Us. That's the vlog title. Same day I bought Tomb Raider, though, I picked up Incredibles, the Blu-ray Steelbook, the 4K edition of The Incredibles. Second 4K disc I own. First one's Black Panther. I don't own a 4K TV yet, but I have watched this in 4K. I've watched clips of it. Actually, in Florida, the television that was in the living room in our beach house towards the end of the trip was a 4K television, so I got to test out the 4K through my Voodoo uh, account, and it looked incredible. I'm sold on 4K now. This steelbook though is pretty brilliant. Enjoy it a lot. Turn the discs around here. There's your 4K disc, regular Blu-ray, and bonus features disc. Boop. So that's The Incredibles on 4K. I told the story in the first live stream, but I actually tried to buy an Incredibles 4K steelbook off eBay. But when I bought it, the seller shipped me an empty envelope that hadn't even been sealed. It was just an empty envelope that didn't have the seal torn off of it. So I got refunded for that, and then a week later, I found this at Best Buy. So that was cool. Tomb Raider is good, but the Angelina, but okay, I read that wrong. Creepinator says he likes the Angelina Jolie ones. Or no, he's saying that Tomb Raider from 2018 is better than the Angelina Jolie ones. Yeah, I agree, man. I saw the first Tomb Raider starring Angelina Jolie. Hated it. It's really bad. I didn't see the Angry Birds movie. You like all the seasons in Thomas and Friends and movies? No, I don't like them all. So I thought that was a given. I don't think anybody likes everything from Thomas. There's always something somebody hates, especially in this community and all the toxicity, which we'll discuss later after the Blu-rays. Next box set I picked up after I picked this up before Florida, but it arrived while I was in Florida, so I couldn't open it up and take a look at it till after Florida. But Fast and Furious 8-movie collection. Moment of weakness. I don't know why. One night I was just looking around on my phone and I thought to myself, hey, I haven't seen all 8 Fast and Furious films. Why don't I go ahead and take a look at it? And then I searched it up on eBay and I found it for cheaper than the store was trying to sell it for. It was about $30 for this. So, and it has the shoot, the digital code included there. So I saw some copies on eBay that didn't have that included. It was just the Blu-ray, and I was like, nah, I need the codes for that. So take a look at the discs. They're all pretty much the same. That standard universal disc, reflective gray with the Blu-ray logo on the bottom, title up at the top, all that stuff. And the bonus disc back there is changed for some reason. Don't really know why. I have recently rewatched the first Fast and Furious and Too Fast, Too Furious. I hate Too Fast, Too Furious with a burning passion. It is a garbage film. But the first Fast and Furious, I actually kind of like a little bit more than I did originally. I didn't like the first Fast and Furious when I first watched it on Netflix beforehand a few years ago at all. I still hate Too Fast, Too Furious, but hey, I mean, Fast and Furious is fine, I guess. Oop, I'll start my phone. So that was a surreal experience, I guess. I was just checking the time. My clock is over here on my computer, and the Blu-rays are kind of blocking it. Anyway, next set is a trilogy that I picked up separately, but it is the Hobbit trilogy. I already own the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's in that 3-pack set where it just repackaged the theatrical cuts of each of the films into one pack. I scored that for $4 at Walmart, and like a week later, I went back. They had those puppies out for $15 a pop. So, haha, I cheated the system there. But Unexpected Journey I've owned for a while now. I picked this up from a eBay seller that I really respect because he has fair prices and he ships them efficiently and quickly, and he combines shipping. I bought this from the same seller I bought my Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness Blu-rays from, which is awesome. But the Desolation of Smuag and the Battle of the Five Armies, they came from two different sellers, and I've had these the least amount of time. But they're both the 3D versions. I picked up the 3D versions of them because, why not? They were actually cheaper in some cases than the regular Blu-rays that I saw being sold. So that was that was different. Huh, that's weird. Part of the case is actually kind of broken here. Anyway, there's the regular Blu-ray disc for Desolation of Smuag. Special features: Part 1 of the 3D Blu-ray and Part 2 of the 3D Blu-ray, and the DVD there in the back. Plus, these cases are just thicker, and I like them more. They've got a thick with two C's aspect to them, and the lenticular slipcovers are pretty awesome. They look like they're 3D. And then same for Battle of the Five Armies. All of these discs are basically the same, so I'm not going to show Battle of the Five Armies. Haven't watched any of them. I've heard from multiple friends that they're not very good, but I don't care. I'm still going to watch them. Creepinator says, few recent pickups I got recently were The Incredibles 4K, King Kong 4K, Anchorman, and The Interview. Cool, dude. I own 2 of those. I own Anchorman on physical media. I own that on regular Blu-ray, and then Incredibles 4K. We both got Incredibles 4K. That's pretty cool. I do own The Interview though, but it's through Google Play, so it's not physical. So anyway, after Florida, the day I got back, which was Friday, or no, the day after I got back, which was Friday, I went to Best Buy before work. Had to pick up the Ant-Man Steelbook. Same concept of the first 3 Steelbooks I showed off, with Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Civil War. Exclusive artwork by Matt Ferguson, but I know that this was reprinted because Ant-Man and the Wasp was hitting theaters not long after this was released, so I had to pick this up again for the code and for the Steelbook because I'm a sucker for this artwork. Like, come on, look at that. That is cool. That is very cool. Do you think you'll ever pick up the stupid movie Sherlock Gnomes on Blu-ray? Nah, Aaron. Nah. Never. Never. Not once, my guy. Not even out of the question. So, next up is a complete television series that I've upgraded to Blu-ray. Avatar: The Last Airbender. First time ever on Blu-ray. I own all 3 seasons on DVD, but I'm a sucker for upgraded picture and audio quality, so I shelled out the $40 for this. There's the inside. I have not watched this yet on Blu-ray. It's been sitting on my player. All the discs are basically the same design. Standard blue Paramount disc. But yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this series. I really love this series. It's one of the greatest cartoons ever created. So I'm really excited to get to rewatch that in full HD on Blu-ray. Now, I'm just taking a look at how this looks on the camera. Okay, looks fine. SpongeBob started to go uphill halfway through season 9, and the show's been better since. Okay, Gum Robber. I don't watch SpongeBob much anymore. It's not something I watch religiously like I used to when I was younger. This next set is another complete series, but it's a series that I've been watching recently. I was binging it yesterday. I'm about 10 episodes in. You saw my Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you saw my tweet from yesterday, you know what series I'm talking about. Danny Phantom, complete series. I think I love this cartoon series. It is so good. Like I said, I'm about 10 episodes in, and the characters are funny. It's got great comedic timing. It's got drama in some cases. The villains are really good. It's all around a really good show, and I'm surprised it took me this long to actually start watching it. It took me to pick up the complete series from Walmart to actually start watching it. I watched Danny Phantom a little bit when I was younger, when it was, on and there was nothing else on. I watched it because it was a cartoon and I was a kid and I love cartoons. Pretty much all kids loved cartoons when they were growing up. But I would watch it and I thought, hey, this was pretty fun. But as an adult, I think it's really good. Like Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom, they were created by the same guy. So why did I think it would be anything less than good? Second to last thing, I picked this up the day before I left for Hilton Head. I probably should have been attacked by a shark for buying this. Shark Week 30th anniversary Blu-ray set. It's the 30th. Yeah, 30 years of jaw-dropping discovery. Shark Week 30 years. I love Shark Week. I love sharks. They're my favorite ocean predators. If you know what that's from. It's from Big Bang Theory. I have only watched one episode from this. But this set is kind of deceiving because it says Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital, implying that all of the Shark Week episodes that are included here are on Blu-ray and on DVD as well. But you open this up, and there's only one Blu-ray and two DVDs. Now, the bonus to this, especially if you buy it at Walmart, is you get a code through that you can redeem through Voodoo or anywhere else that gets you 30 episodes from the different Shark Week seasons. 30 episodes for free. That's a lot of teeth. I'm just gonna say that. But this set, it's pretty good. I guess I haven't really, like I said, I haven't watched all of it just yet. I will someday. But yeah, like I said, I should probably have been attacked by a shark for buying that before I went to Hilton Head. Didn't take it with me to Hilton Head, so that was probably why I wasn't killed. Well, heading off to bed, night owls. Thanks for watching, Creepernator. Good seeing you, my dude. It's been a while since we talked. Now, this last item you guys have not seen. Shark Week you hadn't seen, and then this last item you hadn't seen. This came in from eBay while I was gone, and this is season 1 of a show that's very popular, and my friend Trinity, who you've seen in one of my vlogs a few years ago, she was in a vlog from Walmart. She wasn't named, but that's her name. Her name's Trinity. She hasn't been pestering me to watch the show. I've just seen it on her Snapchat story a lot. She's been watching the show and been loving it. I'll just go ahead and show you. It's Game of Thrones, season 1. I don't have HBO Showtime or anything like that, so I just said, hey, why not just go ahead and buy the seasons? Because I like having physical media, and plus, this will have better picture quality than watching it on my TV, because physical media gets better bit rate and other technical terms I don't really understand, but physical media is better. Is basically what I'm getting at. But anyway, like I said, she hasn't been pestering me to watch the show, but she basically has been pestering me to watch it because of just how often she's been updating her Snap saying, oh my gosh, Game of Thrones, it's so great. And I've heard from multiple other people that Game of Thrones is great. A lot of the other podcasts that I listen to, especially the Weekly Planet, has been saying that Game of Thrones is great. So, got a really nice slipcover on it. This packaging is spectacular for this show. Like, geez, this is a thick cardboard case, and it has another slipcase over top of it. I mean, that's some quality right there. But there's Sean Bean. There's Peter Dinklage. I predict whatever character Sean Bean plays in the show, he's going to die, because Sean Bean dies in everything. But anyway, open this up a little bit more. Sorry, the Blu-rays are obstructing my view of the camera. So, 2 people I don't know about. I think that's Jon Snow. And then, what's her name? Emilia Clarke from Terminator Genesis. But she's like a dragon lord on the show, I think this character is. Anyway, this shows how much of a noob I am when it comes to Game of Thrones. There are your discs. You get 5 discs in this set, and it's a long set. But what I like about it, though, is if we, I'm just going to, Jesus, this thing is huge. If we take a look at the number of episodes that are on the disc, season 1, episodes 1 and 2. That means that this series is spaced out pretty well. There's only 10 episodes in this season, I believe. Yes, there's only 10 episodes in this season. And what that means is this picture quality should look amazing because these have been spaced out pretty well. They didn't compress the audio or picture to try to fit it on to like 2 discs or something like that. No, they went the full extra mile and gave us 5 discs for this show. Now, I don't know how long these episodes are. I know one episode in like season 7, I believe, was close to 90 minutes long. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting myself into with this show. I'm not really a fantasy type person like dragons and the dark, and let me rephrase that. I'm not really a fantasy type person like with dragons and lords and kings and all that stuff. But you know what? I'll give season 1 a try. And if I hate it, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it to Trinity or something. I'm not sure. But hopefully I don't hate it. I was a fan of the Lord of the Rings stuff. I mean, fantasy's not really my thing, but eh, eh, they were good. They were good. They were epics, is what they were. And Game of Thrones, I've heard from a lot of people, is basically like a television version of Lord of the Rings. So I'm hoping I enjoy it. I really hope that I do, because if I didn't, I just wasted $14 on that set. But it's a nice set. It's very nice. So here's a side view of some of the Blu-rays, not all of them, and the Danny Phantom DVD set. Should have mentioned that the Danny Phantom set is on DVD. It's the one DVD only thing I picked up this last week or so. Oh, hey, Jesse Ortiz. What's up, dude? I'm sorry. I didn't see your comment till now. He said, hey, Lego. What's good, my guy? So, what do I do now? Geez. Okay, I have a stack of films and such I need to put away. So, I'm also thirsty and I want something to drink. I want a beverage. I want a substance to put in my body that will cool me down. So, what I'm going to do is like we usually do whenever I need to go somewhere and we have a bit of a commercial break. I'm going to find a video to play for you guys from a YouTuber who I know you guys heard of Stuckman last time, Chris Stuckman. I played his Incredibles 2 review, part of his Incredibles 2 review for this, for the last stream in July that's now private. But I try to find somebody new every time. I've played Neat Mike a few times for you guys, and you haven't really seemed to like him for some reason. I think Neat Mike's fucking hilarious, but that's just me. So I'm trying to find. Okay, you guys probably haven't heard of this guy. I think I've retweeted him a few times if you follow me on Twitter. This is more like analytical videos. Gum Rubber says this better be funny. Dude, I don't know. This probably won't be funny, but it's a YouTuber I like. So I'm just looking through his catalog of videos. How about this one? Yeah, that'll do. So I'm gonna go ahead and that's the settings. Where's the screen share? Here it is. Been a while since I've done a live stream, so I don't remember where a lot of things are. So we're gonna go ahead and share that. Okay. I hope you guys that was a joke. Yeah, I know, Gum Rubber. I know, but still. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this Solo a Star Wars story review / first thoughts spoilers. We'll be right back.
I enjoyed Solo a Star Wars story, but the movie kind of felt like a checklist. A series of things that we already knew about Han Solo, or rather knew about events around Han Solo. Han Solo cliff notes, if you will, picked from a list of available stuff and inserted into an entertaining roller coaster. This review will have spoilers, so if you haven't seen Solo, I warned you, okay? Okay. The thing about spoilers and Solo is that there's really not that much to spoil, at least in terms of the broad story. Things are relatively predictable, because if you're familiar with Han Solo's past, you'll for the most part just be shown some stuff you already know. There are some nice Easter eggs, a surprise appearance from a familiar face, which, okay, and a few wink winks. The thing about these anthology films, so far at least, and with the Boba Fett movie coming out, it seems like it might become the norm, is that I don't want them to be an Easter egg hunt. I don't want them to have to rely on previously established material, and I certainly don't want them to simply exist to explain things that happen in previous films. While it can be fun to feed the little fanboy that sits inside of all of us with callbacks and references, ultimately, I'm looking for more. I'm looking for something different. The anthology films don't have to be the why to the what. If The Last Jedi was an odd flavor of ice cream that some people would never want to order or eat, Solo a Star Wars story is a big scoop of vanilla. And hey, I like vanilla. Who doesn't like vanilla? My favorite part of the film was the beginning. Seeing Han and Kira in the slums, Han stealing a speeder being chased by the authorities, like a greaser in the 1950s wanting to escape Corellia, wanting to plot his own destiny. The scene in the spaceport was great. It might be my favorite in the entire film. It had tension, waiting in line, trying not to raise suspicions. Han escapes, Kira isn't that lucky. I like the scene where Han joined the Empire. Too, he wanted to be a pilot. And then we fast forward 3 years later, I think it was 3 years later, and he's a grunt, aggravating his superiors, fighting for some nonsense cause he doesn't really believe in. The Empire just threw him where they needed him to be after he flunked out of the academy, which is actually a real-life situation that happens in the armed forces. That's a story for another time. See, this is the stuff that interests me, because it was new. It was inventive. It enriched the backstory of Han Solo as a character. A romantic relationship, living under a crime lord, boosting speeders, rebellious. This is the stuff I came to see, and I wish there was more of it. And then the checklist started to happen. Meet Chewbacca, check. Meet Lando, check. Millennium Falcon, check. DL-44, check. Sabacc, check. Kessel Run, check. I'm not saying those things are bad. They're just expected. It's like knowing the lyrics to a song you've heard and enjoyed for decades. It's fun to sing along. And the thing is, if someone new to the franchise watches the movie and doesn't know that most of this stuff is already known, or at least known in an abstract way, do they really give a shit? Probably not. And even if people do know all of the stuff, the majority of people won't give a shit either. And just because I have issues with the formula of a checklist doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the moments. I love Chewbacca's introduction. The beast in the pit, meant to eat Han after the guards threw him in. And then Han spoke a little of Chewie's language, getting them both out of a sticky situation. Chewie was the muscle of the entire operation from start to finish. He was one of my favorite aspects of the film. Seeing Lando was an absolute trip. Donald Glover sounded exactly like Billy D. Williams. It was crazy. But he wasn't just doing a Billy D. Williams impression. He made the character his own. And I don't think Lando could have been portrayed any better than he was. Alden Ehrenreich did a good job as Han. He felt right. Han felt right. He was a fun presence on screen, true to the nature of a New Hope Cantina Han, more brash, more reckless, more cocky. When Han got the DL-44, it was a subtle little moment around a campfire with Beckett's crew. It wasn't too over the top. It was subtly done, and I appreciated that. Oh, and Beckett's crew, I liked them as characters, and I also liked the fact that the script quickly left them behind. The script quickly focused on what was most important, narratively. The train sequence was exciting. I felt like I was watching a Western where bandits were trying to rob the train. That was a lot of fun. When Han, Beckett, and Chewie went to Dredden Voss's yacht, that was some of my favorite visual stuff in all of Star Wars. I loved the vibe in there. It was like a jazz bar, smooth. elegant and dangerous. I absolutely love the look of the room, love the feel of the room, a room full of enemies acting as friends. The movie felt like a few individual roller coasters all stitched together to make one long track. The cohesion between events sometimes felt messy to me, but my favorite stretch of the roller coaster was probably when the crew went down to the mining colony. The atmosphere was unlike anything we've seen in a Star Wars film. Slave labor, more grime and filth than ever before. Our crew goes down to steal some stuff, but ends up setting the captives free, being do-gooders. The costume design was Mad Max meets Star Wars. I really love seeing that side of the Star Wars universe, and I think that's where Solo excels for me. Seeing the underworld of the Star Wars universe, whether it be in the spaceport at the beginning, or Enfy's nest, or on Voss's yacht, or the mining colony, that was all fantastic. L3 was one of my favorite parts of the film too, and the fact that she's a part of the Falcon is neat. One of my favorite callback Easter egg explanation fillers, whatever the hell you want to call it, in all of Star Wars. In The Empire Strikes Back, C3PO says, "I don't know where your ship learned to communicate, but it has a peculiar dialect." So knowing that L3 is a part of the Falcon and 3PO is communicating with L3 is just a neat bridge between all of the movies, trilogies, and everything. L3 was great. The robot who wants freedom, wants autonomy, wants to rise up. That's nothing new in sci-fi, of course, but it's fun to see in Star Wars. Removing restraining bolts, it was neat. In A New Hope, the cantina bartender says they don't serve their kind. They'll have to wait outside, which was a little 1970s cultural commentary told through droids. I find it interesting. Like I said, that theme is present in a ton of science fiction, but it's fun to see on display here. The Kessel Run was fun, a race against time. The truth is, it's the one thing from the film I haven't really been able to nail down an opinion on. When I got out of the theater, I was a bit underwhelmed by it. The next morning, after some reflection, I thought it was fine. I need to see the movie a second time. I'm really curious. What did you guys think about how the Kessel Run was portrayed? The strongest aspect of the film for me was the interaction between characters. Kira and Han had a believable and enjoyable chemistry. Beckett and Han were fun to watch. Lando and Han were exactly what you want them to be. So were Han and Chewie. That was without a doubt the film's strongest suit, the way all the characters mesh together. But yeah, so far, I have to be honest here, the anthology films haven't done much for me. You guys know I wasn't a fan of Rogue One. I like Solo a lot more than I like Rogue One. But I don't know. I'm sure I'll end up seeing it a few more times before it leaves the theater. But overall, I felt like it was a pretty average and fun movie with a bunch of expected Star Wars references sprinkled on top. I know that's probably what a lot of people are looking for, right? But to me, it didn't have the emotional impact that most of the other films in the saga have. It just felt like it was okay. And if I look at it from just the perspective of wanting to feed that reference and Easter hungry fanboy inside of me, it was great. But if I judge it like I would any other movie, it was okay.
You need new glasses, so why not have them delivered to your doorstep? At GlassesUSA.com, you can choose from thousands of styles.
Okay, so this happened. The Han Solo film directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, were ousted from the project. Losing directors isn't unheard of. In fact, it's more common than you'd initially think. However, there's been a lot of recent examples of this of late. Edgar Wright and Ant-Man, Steven Soderbergh and Moneyball, Josh Trank and probably a Boba Fett film, Brandon Chapman and Brave, Tim Miller and Deadpool 2, a long list of directors in DC films. Crazy days. This, however, is a bit different considering the movie was still filming when it happened, which isn't unheard of, but it's nearly unheard of. What I want to do here, however, is try and unpack what happened and what it might mean for the final film based off the current spate of information available. But if you are watching this from the future and have already seen the finished film, I predict that it will win Best Cinematography 2018, Best Costume Design, Best Picture, Best Visual Effects, Best Editing, Best Documentary, Best Short Film Live Action, and Best Short Film Animated. If I'm wrong, it doesn't really matter. I'll just delete this video, pick up my laptop, and then walk into the ocean. Now, the official statement from Lucasfilm and Lord and Miller cites creative differences, which certainly seems to be true. But what it doesn't mention is that there probably wasn't the shaking of hands and the parting of ways. They were fired. It seems as if they were given an ultimatum to film what was in the original script, which is said to be great, and they weren't really on board with that. The duo, however, seemed to be under the impression that the differences could have been worked through, and them being let go was a surprise. Weirdly, because I'm never on top of anything, my podcast, The Weekly Planet, received an anonymous tip that things weren't right with the project a few weeks ago. I say weirdly because we're not in the loop with this kind of stuff at all. I might actually play a clip from that episode, however, as it could potentially offer a little more insight. So here it is. What up, James and Mason? It's me, James, the guy who told you the story about the pesky prunes of Woody Harrelson.
That's right.
Okay, sorry, I just want to quickly mention that prunes thing relates to another tip we got about Woody Harrelson holding up production due to a mix-up between organic and inorganic prunes. I can't speak to the validity of that, and it almost certainly has nothing to do with anybody getting fired, maybe like a PA or something, I guess. But I just wanted to mention that because I feel, out of context, that's a really weird thing to hear about. Okay, on with the clip. I have more of a scoop from a friend of mine working on the blank team of the Han Solo film. He actually named it, but I feel like I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
in
right.
case he's fired.
Yep. If you're listening, Lucasfilm, you can fire all of your teams. Anyone working alone, they're not the leak.
No.
But if they're on a team, just boot them and replace them with anyone else. It's fine.
The word is that there are a number of reshoots for the film, as though the scripts are meant to be very funny. The action set pieces and acting are thought to be weak by Kathleen Kennedy. That tells a slightly different story than the one we've gotten, though what it does have in common with most things is that Kennedy was unhappy with the work being done on the film. According to other sources, the directors favoured more cheekiness and improv on set. Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence Kasdan, however, were believers in adhering closer to the script, and were also concerned that the directors were deviating too much from the franchise's house style. There was also talk that the version of Han Solo that Lord and Miller were going for was far more comedic, whilst higher-ups wanted something more in line with what we've gotten in previous movies that are technically sequels to this film, you know, where he's all sarcastic and selfish, but also before he was all confused regarding what he'd witnessed between Luke and Leia after he found out that...
It sure was lucky you were here, George.
Look out for when reporting this next topic.
Hi, George.
I'm so glad you're a monkey.
They were related. I reckon that's why he let himself be stabbed. I think that whole incident messed with his internal sense of right and wrong. It's been said that from day one, Lord and Miller balked at the tight controls that were being enforced on set. In their experience, they'd been given the freedom to make pretty much whatever they wanted, with the results proving them more than capable as directors. I can understand when you're coming off the back of a really solid slate of films, then yeah, it would be insulting to be treated like you didn't know what you were doing. So who's to blame? Well, you know, I don't know. Star Wars Newsnet actually cited Alden Ehrenreich himself as drawing Lucasfilm's attention to the project, raising concerns that the movie was getting off track. One source even cited that his character was somewhat similar in nature to Ace Ventura. That sounds weird, but better than The Mask, I guess. The Mask is no good. Also, the whole thing apparently became very meta, which works for something like Jump Street or the Lego Movie, but I wouldn't really think so in a Star Wars film. This also became really apparent when the assembly cut was being made. And whilst individual scenes looked great, as a whole, it didn't really mesh. Okay, so let's say that the version that was being filmed didn't adhere to the Disney version. You'd only have to look at Lord and Miller's filmography to get an idea of what you're in for. The film that everybody wanted to make really should have been a lock before the camera started rolling. And I'd imagine that the conversation should have been had, or maybe it even was, that hey, we've all decided on this script, yeah, but look, on the day, seems we've got some pretty talented actors, some of which with some pretty incredible improv skills. Let's film what's on the page, then also try to get some other stuff on the day. Of course, that is easier said than done. When it comes to filmmaking, time is money. And money, well, money is it's still money. But my point is, Lord and Miller may have been able to try out a whole bunch of different takes with the Jump Street movies, but with something the size and scope of a Star Wars film, that kind of flexibility probably isn't really there. And we already knew that Lucasfilm were fairly rigid in terms of what they want as a finished product. Gareth Edwards wasn't fired from Rogue One, but we do know that he took a backseat to Tony Gilroy, who was paid $5 million plus to come in and rewrite and reshoot large chunks of that movie. I've done a whole video on what was left out of that film. I'll link it below if you're keen. As I mentioned also, it seems as if Josh Trank was fired from his standalone Star Wars film. Officially, he left the production on his own accord, but that really seems to be the case of jump before Lucasfilm fires you because the whole Fantastic Four filming process was a debacle. Also, in the end, the film was a flaming pile of garbage. J.J. Abrams on episode 7 is a different story, however. I think the reason that production went so smoothly is because he's more of an old school style director. Yes, changes were made as the film progressed and things were added in reshoots, but his vision and style of direction worked in tandem with Lucasfilm. Kathy Kennedy bloody loves him, as did Kasdan. There's images of these guys collaborating on set, having a good old time. I bet they were like, hey, with those guys we hired from the raid, do you want to have them do zero martial arts? And both of them were like, oh my God, that would be amazing. No one would expect that. Rian Johnson for episode 8 has gone on record saying he's had as much creative control on The Last Jedi as he's had on any film. Also, someone asked him if he's been fired, and he was like, what? Then that person clarified that a number of fans were concerned about the goings-on over at Lucasfilm, and he said nothing, meaning he's definitely fired. But yeah, I guess really, with Rian Johnson, it's more of a case of them trusting his abilities and being happy with what he's been producing. I want to get back to Kasdan, however. For those unaware, Lawrence Kasdan is a legend in Star Wars. He basically rewrote The Empire Strikes Back in a second draft and penned a lot of Return of the Jedi. I also remember reading something some time back that Lucas wanted him to return to the prequels, but he declined, citing that he'd rather Lucas balls that up by himself. I mean, that he thought that was his story to tell. The other thing is, he knows the character of Han Solo inside and out. He's been writing for him since the late 70s. Now, I know people will say that Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980, but he would have had to have written it before filming began in 1979. So yeah, it was the 70s. What a time to be alive. I mean, not really. All eras from the past seem horrible compared to today. Take, for example, I ordered a copy of Jedi Power Battles on PlayStation 1, and it just showed up on my door. I didn't even want it. I just bought it on a whim, and now I have it for some reason. That's crazy. I couldn't have ordered that in 1979 for so many reasons. Kasdan, though, is an old-school filmmaker, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I can see how his sensibilities would have clashed with Lords and Miller's, especially after working with J.J. Abrams, who's like the embodiment of somebody snatching Spielberg from 1987, dropping him in the present day, then hitting him in the head with a mystery box. But the thing is, for me, I've never really been interested in this film. I mean, there's a lot of things I like about what's happened with it, the cast for one, and I thought getting Lord and Miller was a good choice. I like the idea of different creatives bringing their particular vision to a franchise. I mean, look at what James Cameron brought to Alien. Look at what Matthew Vaughn brought to X-Men. Look at what Lawrence Gusserman brought to The Mask. Yeah, it doesn't always work out, but I always hated The Mask. Like I said earlier, The Mask is no good. The point is, Lord and Miller were a huge reason why I had any interest in this film.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that took so long for me to come back. I didn't plan on. Sorry. Again, sorry. I actually have a funny story to tell you guys right now about what just transpired in the last like 20 minutes that I was gone. We lost a few people. And sorry that took me so long to come back. I actually just bought a new TV a while ago. Let me explain. I had to get a beverage, by the way. But I actually just bought a new TV with this Amazon gift card I got for my graduation, which I can now toss as it is empty now. But Amazon Prime Day is today. My mom's been egging me on about this deal she found for a new TV because I've been looking for a new TV. It's a Toshiba 50-inch 4K Fire Stick built into the TV itself. Amazon Fire Stick, smart TV, all that stuff for $290. And with that gift card, it was 40 bucks. $250 actually is what I'm paying for it. So it took me a little while to actually, say that, well, I'm very anal retentive when it comes to picture quality. Like, a lot of times I'm cool with, like, okay picture quality and stuff. But if something just looks horrible, I won't, like, buy it or try to give my money towards it. And I like to see what a TV looks like before I actually purchase it. But this Toshiba, I have no idea what the picture quality looks like. It's 4K, so hopefully it looks fine. But sometimes you just got to roll the dice a little bit. I hope it's worth my investment of 250 bucks. And if I don't like it, I can always just send it back. But I really hope that I like it. I really hope that I do. I hope this is worth the money. But I have a 4K TV on the way, guys. It should be here on Friday. Thanks, Amazon Prime. And wow, kind of crazy to think about right now that I have a 4K TV on the way. And I paid a lot less for it than I thought I was going to have to. So that's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. I hope I like it. I really hope I do. Gum Robber says, check the chat. A lot happened when you were gone. Okay, I'll go ahead and check here. Hey, Sheriff Duncan Flynn knows Hello Greedo. Nice, dude. I'm just reading chat. Now they're talking about tugs. I don't care about tugs. I kind of don't like tugs at all. Man, I'm kind of sad now because I see a lot of people in the chat that aren't here anymore right now, and like they were all confused because I was just playing videos in my live stream. When I play videos in the live stream, guys, that means it's a commercial break. That means I'm out and about. I don't just leave you guys with nothing to watch. I mean, what am I, selfish? Nah. Thanks for all the welcome backs to my own stream, guys. I really appreciate you. Wow, the sun went down while I was gone. No natural light back there anymore. Just my lamp now. All right. So I had some things I wanted to talk about in this stream, but after the whole TV thing, now that that's on the way, I forgot completely what I was gonna talk about. Oh, I mentioned toxicity in the Thomas fandom. I wanted to talk about that video from that Turtles and Thomas released a few days ago while I was in Hilton Head. I watched that one morning, the Wednesday morning I was there. And I wanted to discuss that actually because even though I'm not a big fan of Turtles, his content, his subcon, I've perplexed multiple times. I'm not a fan of that series. I to this day have not seen the last like 6 or 7 episodes of it because I just don't care. And I don't like the way Turtles conducts himself through social media. I understand it's part of his shtick, but it gets kind of annoying when all he does is tweet about how sad he is. And I get that it would be annoying to see like my Twitter. It's annoying how I tweet about politics a lot of the time, but he doesn't follow me, so don't know why he'd be annoyed by that. Anyway, I agree with a lot of the stuff he said in the toxicity video, and I'm actually going to pull it up real quick, and we can do a little bit of a live talk about it because this is a topic that I feel needs to be addressed in this community because there's a ton of toxicity in this community that no one is talking about right now. Everyone's just kind of sweeping it under the rug, saying that, oh, hey, yeah, it's not really a thing. Just shut up, stop crying about it. No, it's a real thing. There are people being actual, like, horrible human beings to each other, and no one is calling it out. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna share my screen or anything. We can just listen to it, or I can listen to it. Everyone's talking about what time it is for them. It's 9:20 for me. Thing is, Turtles and Thomas is kind of good if you watch a lot of his videos. His reviews are fine; they're kind of fun, but I don't like his Subjugating Conflict series. But that's just my opinion. We're not gonna watch the whole video. I'm basically just gonna skip around to his biggest points and basically discuss why I agree with them. So here we go.
There's been a lot of discussion recently about the idea of a toxic fandom of a show. I think recently the Star Wars fandom has been having a lot of problems after The Last Jedi came out. Lots of people hated it, and well, they took to attacking the actors for it.
He's right about that. And the thing that I find most interesting about the Star Wars fandom compared to the Thomas fandom is just how similar they are. If you look at the reaction to The Last Jedi in comparison to the reaction to Journey Beyond Sodor, they are paint by numbers similar. The Last Jedi, some people loved it, some people hated it, and both sides are warring with each other. Journey Beyond Sodor, a lot of people liked it, a lot of people hated it. And again, both sides are warring with each other. It's awful. Especially the backlash to big world, big adventures. Nowadays, if you say, oh yeah, I'm excited for it, people will lambast you for that. It's kind of like saying, oh yeah, I liked Solo. People will lambast you for that. It's crazy how people treat each other because of differing opinions on a space movie or a movie about a train with a face. Can we not be like decent human beings to each other? And I am guilty of this too. I know the video that I made, the quote reaction video to the Journey Beyond Sodor trailer that came out. That video was not planned. That was a freak recording that I just said, hey, I'm gonna record it and see how they feel later on. And that video, I'm actually not that proud of that video because of the fact that I kind of made fun of my friends' opinions in that video. And like, I understand that I'm guilty of making fun of people for being quote railway series purists in the past, and that's awful, and I probably should never have done that. But at the same time, though, there are people who consider themselves railway series purists who will make fun of just casual fans for not reading the railway series. I know I've been lambasted by a few of my friends saying that, oh wow, you haven't read all of the railway series. How exactly can you say that Journey Beyond Sodor is good if you hadn't read that? Like, sorry, the railway series isn't the Bible. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion in general. But let's go ahead and head back to the video. My point is that the Star Wars and Thomas fandoms are so similar in the fact that both sides just are at war with each other right now, for lack of better terms. And I myself am guilty of that as well.
You know, lots of fandoms are talked about as being particularly toxic, such as Star Wars or Rick and Morty, Steven Universe, etc. But not a lot of people are talking about the Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends fandom because it's so small and so insignificant. I mean, how many of us are there anyway? It seems like most users that surpass, I don't know, like 10,000 subscribers only do it if they resort to making clickbait videos for, you know, literal infants, or if they uploaded illegal copies of the television series episode and earned thousands of subscribers and millions of views for completely a video that they didn't make. But, you know, that's a rant for another day. But my point is,
he's right about that. There are some channels out there that do that. Technically, that's stealing, but a lot of the time YouTube doesn't let you monetize those videos. They'll say, hey, no, 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 that's someone else's content. I think what he's referring to there is the what's his name, Flattened Funnel guy who somehow got Journey Beyond Sodor monetized and made like $1,000 off of it. That was scummy. Okay, that was awful.
In that age group is bad. That's the majority of, well, the community. But there are some people, it just seems like when they get into that age group, they go through this specific patch of angst or rebellion or whatever. But there are some users that tend to be within that age range that are particularly irreverent, particularly rude, and in my opinion, are the source of the majority of the toxicity.
So I didn't play the part of it where he mentions the age group. He's basically talking about teenagers, which a lot of us in the community are. I say us, I'm not a teenager, but I was just reading comments. I feel you, Sheriff Duncan Flynn. I feel bad to say that I'm even a Star Wars fan anymore just because of how toxic that fandom is. I like The Last Jedi. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I like The Last Jedi a lot. And I honestly think that Solo is my favorite of these new era of Star Wars films. I thought Solo was fun as hell. But basically, Turtles is talking about teenagers. And he's right. Teenagers go through a certain chemical unbalance in their brains. It's called hormones. You're way more emotional. A lot of things will set you off. I know when I was a teenager, when I wasn't online, tweeting and stuff, when I was about 14 to 15, I was not good at home. I was very irrational, would not think things through at all. My hormones in my head just would not stop raging, and I was an ass. Let's be honest. My teenage years, I was an ass. Thanks to my parents for putting up with me throughout those years because I was a huge asswipe. But that's what happens when you grow up and you mature. You go through these experiences throughout your life, and the hormones in your brain finally kind of calm down a little bit once you hit 17, 18 and stuff. That's when I finally started getting a grasp on life and actually thinking about like, oh crap, my actions online actually have consequences and stuff like that, which I know the way I conduct myself on Twitter sometimes, it's like he hasn't learned a thing. Nah, I mean, sometimes I get very irrationally angry. Sometimes I'll tweet out something bad or something like that. But for the most part, I hate bragging on myself. I hate saying that, oh yeah, I'm so mature and stuff. I hate doing that. I really do. Considering how I come off on Twitter, sometimes I come off as very arrogant a lot of the time. But where was I going with that? I completely lost my train of thought. God dang it, I hate reading chat and then trying to make a point on these streams. It doesn't always work. Anyway, let's go ahead and skip around a little bit.
And you have to defend that for what it is. But when people criticize memes, when people criticize ironic content, it's so easy to just say, oh, well, it's just a meme. I didn't try. And that's why, in my opinion, people that make only ironic content, and don't get me wrong, I make memes too. I'm not saying anyone that makes memes is this way. But people that only make ironic content have this very easy built-in defense system for any criticism they receive because they can just say, well, it's just a meme. I didn't try on it. And that wouldn't be a problem. Those people could just exist in harmony with the rest of us if they weren't also... What I've noticed exhibited with these people is that not only do they only make ironic content, but they also tend to shut down people that make genuine content. There's been many examples of this where people put their heart and soul into making a project, and then the people that only produce ironic content come along and they crap all over it. And they give very harsh criticism. It is technically criticism. It is technically constructive, but it's so harsh that a lot of the time, especially if the person is, starting out, if they're receiving criticism that harsh, they think, well, geez, I might as well just give up. I'm never going to please these people. And
here's the point in the video where I agree and I also disagree to an extent. Shocking, me and Turtles don't agree on something, but anyway. Reading chat again. Gumarbers asking, will I get the rest of Home Improvement? One day, dude, one day. Anyway, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about earlier. This is a point in Turtles' video where I agree, and I also disagree with him. Let me explain. He says that folks who only make ironic content, like memes and, you know, stuff like you only see on Twitter where you get instant gratification, that really doesn't take memes don't take a lot of effort. I can say that myself. I've made a few. They don't take that much time unless they're like really, really good, and they usually don't take that much time to make. But he says in the video that it's only people who make memes and such that criticize people who make genuine content. I agree, but I also disagree with that statement because not every person who makes memes criticizes others. There are a lot of people who on Twitter who actually love, like, for example, Turtles' series, Sudder and Conflict, but they make memes and stuff like that. Then again, there are some people who will criticize your videos, and that's just something that you have to deal with in any form of media. You put something out online, you have to be prepared for pushback from stuff like that. I feel that's how I feel with a lot of the times whenever I upload a video, like my own series that I just posted a few months ago, my remastered season. I was afraid of a lot of pushback from that because it's not your typical Thomas series. It's very ironic, very funny. It's just pat myself on the back here, but crap, I gotta stop reading chat when I do this because I just go off the deep end and I just completely forget what I was going to say. Like I said, my series, I feared a lot of backlash to that because of the fact that it's not your traditional Thomas series. The engines kind of poke fun at the Railway series and stuff, like the joke with Ivo Hugh, which I personally think is hilarious. But I was afraid of a lot of backlash for that. And to be honest, I didn't get a lot of it. I don't think I got one negative review from anybody from Remastered Season 1. Everybody who watched it loved it, which was great. And I really enjoyed the fact that you guys enjoyed it. But at the same time, though, I was still afraid that people were going to just criticize the hell out of it because, oh, yeah, it's not your typical Thomas series. It's stupid, it's dumb, and I hate it. And I had to prepare myself for that. It didn't happen, but I had to prepare myself for that. And that's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand about content nowadays on YouTube. People are going to criticize you, no matter if you feel that it's justified or not. People are going to come after your series. People are going to say that it's not good. Like, and it's not because they don't like you, or it's not because I don't know where I'm going with this point either. Sometimes I just ramble. I really should take notes for these live streams to make points very clearly. But, like, for example, me and Sudrian Conflict. I've said multiple times I don't like Sudrian Conflict. It's not because I don't agree with Turtles' presumed political beliefs. Okay, I think me and Turtles lie not very close to each other on the political spectrum. However, that's not the reason I don't like his series. I don't like his series because I personally don't find that it's for me. I don't care about any of the characters. I personally think it's not a Thomas series, and it shouldn't market itself as a Thomas series. But that's my opinion. I'm not very vocal about it, except on these live streams. I've said it a few times. I've said it a lot on Skype with some of my other friends, but I'm not very vocal about it because I know that a lot of Turtles as fans, and sometimes even Turtles himself, gets very angry when I say that, yeah, I don't really care for the series, dude. But again, that's my opinion, and you got to prepare yourself for that. Yeah, you might not think it's just Fide, some 19-year-old sorry sapsucker sitting in his room with about 100 pops looking at him in the face. You probably don't think I'm justified in criticizing your content, but sorry, dude. I'm gonna do that because I don't feel like I personally enjoyed it, and I have a platform to say that I didn't enjoy it on, and I'm gonna say it that way. You have to prepare yourself for that. It's exactly like how a lot of the Journey Beyond Soda How It Should Be people reacted to the criticism for Journey Beyond Soda How It Should Be. I don't think they reacted very well at all. Now those guys are my friends, but I don't think a lot of them reacted very well to it because they just took it as, oh well, they just don't understand our vision, or they just don't understand that we poured our heart and soul into this, so they should like it. I personally didn't like Journey Beyond Soda How It Should Be. I think it's an achievement for the fandom at large, but I didn't care for the story. I didn't care for the way the characters were handled. That doesn't mean though that I can't commend the months of effort that was put into that film. But it also doesn't mean I'm going to keep my mouth shut about how I don't like it that much. Now, I'm not a hater or anything. I'm not saying that, oh, I hated Journey Beyond Soda How It Should Be because it wasn't the original Journey Beyond Soda and everything Thomas is doing nowadays is great and all that. No, I'm not like that. But again, it's this entire concept of you have to prepare yourself for criticism if you're going to post anything online, anything at all.
And they're right. Well, that just came on. In my opinion, it's some sort of deep-seated sense of insecurity, but it deeply aggravates me, and I find this difficult to, illustrate on Twitter, where you have a very short character limit, and it's very easy to take what you say out of context. But it annoys me deeply that people that insist on not contributing anything that came from their heart also are the ones who hate on content the most when it did come from somebody's heart.
And this is a point that I also agree with. I agree with this as well. I've seen a lot of times where someone who just makes memes or something like that will criticize the fuck out of somebody's work. And I know that that gets annoying. I know that that will bring you down. I understand that. However, again, it's this whole concept of you have to prepare yourself for that kind of stuff. That's basic human behavior. Humans are very angry. We're a very angry species. I know personally I have not like a diagnosable anger problem, but I know sometimes I can go full Anakin Skywalker on people and just go nuts sometimes. However, that's just a fact of life. That's the fact of the internet. You can't fix that. Yeah, it's toxic behavior, but you can't fix that. So anyway, I don't really want to play much more of this video because I know someone's going to show this to Turtles. Someone's going to tell Turtles about this. If he's not already watching the stream or something like that, I'll be very surprised. But I just want to say that the majority of that video, I agree with. The Thomas fandom has a lot of toxic people in it. And I feel like we just need more people out there spreading positive messages and such, but we shouldn't ignore the criticisms from people. We shouldn't ignore the fact that somebody who says, hey, I commend the effort for Journey Beyond Soda How It Should Be, but I didn't like the fact that there was so much Railway series and so many callbacks to the Railway series. I didn't enjoy that. You shouldn't shut that person down and say, well, you're just not a Railway series fan. This movie's not made for you. You shouldn't shut that down. You should try and at least see that person's side of the argument. That's one of the things that nowadays people don't get about arguing with people. If you don't listen to the other person's side or the other person's opinion, neither one of you are going to change at the end of the discussion. You're just going to be screaming at each other. You're just going to be screaming your beliefs at each other and not listening to each other and try to take the other person's argument seriously. You're just screaming at each other and nothing gets accomplished from it. Nothing at all. Again, that's an issue I see with a lot of modern debates nowadays. People just screaming into the vastness of Twitter, and when someone calls them out on it, they just scream at them and don't listen to what the person's actually trying to say. But like I said, I agree with a lot of what Turtles said in that video. Again, there's a few points that I don't agree on, mainly the fact that people who just make ironic content are, you know, not allowed to criticize. He didn't say that. I know he didn't say that. How do I want to articulate this point? I don't agree with the fact that he said that everybody who makes ironic content. I don't know how to phrase this in a way that won't get me lambasted by a lot of people. So I'll just say that I don't agree with, the topic of, hey, only people who make ironic content criticize others and they're all very hateful people. I know he didn't specifically mention that, but I have to disagree with Turtles on something. If I agree with him 100% throughout that video, I wouldn't be Lego Lover 117. But for the most part, I agree with that video, and I think it's a video that needed to be made. I think it's a video that was very bold of him to make. It's a video I wouldn't expect someone like Turtles to make, but it's something that needed to be said. It's something that I've been stewing on for the last couple of weeks, and I'm happy that he made it. I'm happy that he's calling out this bullshit in the community. But again, like I said, you have to prepare yourself for that criticism. It sucks, and it might not be justifiable, but you have to prepare yourself for it. And again, it sucks, but it's just the fact of being on the internet. But I agree, it shouldn't really be a thing. You shouldn't just criticize somebody because they love the Railway series, or you shouldn't get angry at somebody because they said that they liked Journey Beyond Sodor. But I do think we do need to spread more positivity throughout this community. Yes, Aaron, just like Annie C. Annie C is a gem in this community. Okay? She's so much more positive than I could ever hope to be. I have a very positive outlook on life, which is mainly due to the fact that I've been saved by the Lord our God, and I'm just so much more happy now because of it. But man, Annie's way more vocal about it than I am. Like that Jake guy. Who are you talking about, Enraged Trains? Spoken like a true friend. Thank you, Steam Locos Reviews. Thank you. Hey, I still like Journey Beyond Sodor. I haven't seen it in a while. Neither have I, Gum Robber. Actually, after Extraordinary Engines, Journey Beyond Sodor is next in the Home Media Reviews line of reviews. I'm not really happy about going back to rewatch it. I think my views of it have just soured because of all the hate I've seen for it on places like Twitter and from my own friend group. I know personally Journey Beyond Sodor kind of strained my relationship with a few friends that I've made in this community. So it's a powerful film. Journey Beyond Sodor has way more power and way more influence in the overall Thomas media than a lot of people give it credit for, because of the fact of it was the beginning of the end for a lot of people. But it has way more power and way more influence than a lot of people give it credit for. It's a way more influential film for Thomas and Friends than any other, I would think. Like I said, it's our version of The Last Jedi, just of how split down the middle of the fandom is. It's very intriguing to watch. Not the actual film. It's intriguing to watch how the fandom reacts to Journey Beyond Sodor and any criticism of it or any love for it. Stardust is giving me notifications. I don't really use Stardust all that often. Stardust is basically an app where you can react to films and such. I have an account on there, but I don't post on it at all. Anyone won't get mad, but I think BWBA is a sellout move. I don't I've said in the past I'm not excited for BWBA. I don't care about it at all. I will watch it probably if I hear it's okay at the very least. I just hope it's not. I just hope it's not anything horrid. This one guy that's been really just kind of dickish to trans people, and when people counter him, he's just arguing. Oh, you mean Jack Calloway in Rage Trains? His name's not Jake. His name's Jack. Yeah, I've seen that drama too, and he's one of the prime examples of people who don't listen to the other side's argument. I don't know about him. I've I've spoken to him a few times. He didn't seem like such a bad dude, but the way he conducts himself on Twitter is not the way I would. He just I agree with the tweet that MPS put out. Let me find it here about Jack. He says Jack basically says, well, feel free to say something about it, and I'll explain to you why you're letting your feelings get in the way of acknowledging what's been truth according to the rest of the world for a very, very long time. So MPS responds, because that's what MPS does. He's not afraid of anybody. He says, okay, Jack, I will. You're one of the most pig-headed, ignorant people I've ever spoken to. You refuse to acknowledge your flawed beliefs, and every time someone calls you out, you fall back on the defense of don't take everything I say so seriously, gosh, to avoid confrontation. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I hate when people use the excuse of, oh, my account's not serious, or, oh, it's part of my character. When they say something stupid or they say something just over the top insane, and they say, oh, it's a part of my character. It's a joke, guys. Come on. My entire account is a joke. I hate those excuses because 9 times out of 10, it's just the person saying that because they don't want to get into conflict with somebody. They don't want to argue their point, which basically means they either don't have enough evidence to back up their point, or they don't full-heartedly agree with their point, and they don't want to seem like an idiot trying to argue it. Jack Calloway is exactly like that. Oh, geez, I just stretch out my back there for a second. Ah, nice. Aaron Vasquez asks, "Who the hell is Emily Fan 7?" Somebody on Twitter who was just lambasting people for whatever he felt like doing, or whatever they felt like doing. He was just criticizing the hell out of them. He's one of those people that I think Charles was talking about how he was saying how like people who only make ironic content just criticize others. Emily Fan 7 doesn't even make any content, but all he does is go after people on Twitter. It's like he feeds off of the conflict. He's basically one of those jackasses who just causes controversy for the sake of causing controversy because for some reason he loves conflict. He feeds off of it. Emily Fan 7. So if he ever comes after you, don't engage. Did you guys hear that that Shrillith guy on Twitter got suspended and his account's no longer up? That guy on Twitter who said that if you're a conservative, gladly kill your entire family in his Twitter bio. He got suspended. Pretty great. Does lambasting mean being rude? Lambasting basically means just throwing all of your mean and selfish comments towards somebody. It basically means going after them guns a-blazing with just insults and all this stuff. Aaron says he doesn't have a Twitter account. That's cool, dude. That's where I'm most active on. Like, honestly, it's my Twitter and then my YouTube. But what Jack was saying earlier about what he was talking about, how he's going nuts on Twitter about how he's saying he's calling the trans person who's a legit pedophile. That's a subject for another stream, because that's horrible. Had an actual pedophile in the community. Yeah, great. Anyway, he was calling the girl a man because the girl's trans. But here's the thing, though. She changed her gender. She's a girl now. Like, I don't agree with changing your gender. I think that the gender you were, quote, assigned was the gender was the gender you were given by God. But I don't judge you if you change it. You can go right ahead, change it. I don't know. I don't know why. It just doesn't appeal to me. I'm fine with being the gender that I am. Just don't try to change yourself into like a toaster or something, one of those fake genders, because there's only two. That's another discussion for another day. This stream is definitely getting demonetized. I mentioned being trans, I mentioned conservatism, and I mentioned what's the other thing I mentioned? I don't know, Christianity, maybe? Yeah, exactly. That's her choice. Go right ahead. Change your gender. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But like I said, she's changed her gender. She wants to be called a she, and she is a she technically. She's got she parts now, so she's a she. In my book, if you don't have a little Jim and the twins, you're a she. So, and then Jack was going nuts about saying how, like, oh, it's fact that he is a man and changing your gender means nothing. No, it does. When you get Jim and the twins removed, you're a female. Like, she had the surgery. She's a woman. I know that's rich coming from me saying that, like, knowing that I'm like, oh, well, I'm the guy who's a big old Christian and who doesn't agree with being gay and all that stuff. But no, I think that you shouldn't lambaste trans people because they changed their gender. Let them do what they want. I don't personally care. It just doesn't appeal to me. I want to be a man. I like being a man. Never wanted to be a woman. That's their choice. That's their choice. It's not mine. Oh wow, Lego lover actually being tolerant to someone else's beliefs. Wow, that's crazy, right? I guess I have this stereotype as being kind of a bigot, I guess you could say. Who the hell said that there are more than two genders? A lot of people, Aaron. A lot of people. The more than two genders thing has been a meme since like 2016. Jack's just being a bigot. I agree, Enraged Strains. I also hate using that term as an insult. Oh, well, you're just being a bigot, because a lot of people on the left have just ruined that term. I remember once I got into a Twitter argument. It was actually when I was in Florida. I tweeted something about Mark Hamill was complaining about the Trump travel, or no, not the Trump travel ban. He was complaining about the kids in cages at the border when that was enforced under Obama, and he was calling Trump a monster for it. And I said, hey, Mark, why weren't you complaining about this when it was under Obama? And Trump's fixing it. He signed a bill saying, don't do that anymore. And then I had somebody on Twitter. It wasn't Mark Hamill, thank God. It was some guy who just basically jumped in and said, well, why weren't you complaining about it when Obama was in office? And you just hate Obama, don't you? So then I say back, one, I wasn't involved in the political spectrum when I was younger, because when Obama was in office and that was a thing, I was like 12. You wouldn't have wanted me in the political spectrum then. I would have just been an ass. You wouldn't have wanted me there. Secondly, I don't hate Obama. I'm sure he's a pretty nice guy. I just don't agree with a lot of his policies. And why are and then I asked him, why are you going nuts about this now when it was enforced under Obama? And then the dude called me a bigot and a Nazi, blocked me before I even got a chance to say something back, and I haven't spoken to him since. And that's just an example of intolerance of others' beliefs. Again, someone who's not able to actually listen to the other side's points and try to argue for their side while also considering the opposing side's viewpoints. You're being intolerant. That guy was intolerant of my beliefs, and by calling me a Nazi, he showed his hand too early. I saw his hand. I got 3 aces. He's got like 2 jack of, I don't know, he's got like 3 fours of hearts or something. I don't know how to play poker. But I have like a winning hand, and he showed his hand and he has the losing hand. Like, seriously, like, it amazes me how intolerant some people can be. That's funny. Donald 9, Douglas 10, Oliver 11 said, well, I think if you want to remove the gems, then go ahead. It's their body, it's their choice, but I do think it's confusing, but enough of that. So do I, dude. I don't get the appeal of it, but that's just me. I've never wanted to I've never wanted to change my gender to the other side, and I've never wanted to snip off Jim and the twins. So there's always 2 sides of a story to everything, like 2 sides of a war. Yes, there is. There's always another side of a story. Something that I don't think a lot of people understand nowadays. Like I'm going to talk about the John Schneider, I think is his name, the CEO, formerly CEO of Papa John's, or at least the founder of it. I love Papa John's. I think it's a great pizza. I actually had it the other night. It smelled of racism. This is a stupid joke. If you hadn't heard, Papa John said the N word on a conference call with a marketing company, and he's been just completely lambasted for it. I've said lambasted a lot during the stream, but he's been just uprooted for it. He resigned as head of his company. His name and his brand is now being taken off of Papa John's Cardinals Stadium, which is like a 20-minute drive from where I live. That's our football stadium for the University of Louisville. Go Cards! They're taking his name off of that stadium now, and John has basically lost a lot in the span of like 2 days. But here's the thing. If you actually listen to the call or read what he said on the actual call, he wasn't insulting anybody by saying that word. Now, I don't agree he should have said it. Let's say that right now. I don't agree he should have said the word. But what he was saying he was saying how Colonel Sanders called African Americans blank. That's when he said the word, and how he didn't get criticized for it. And just people I'm gonna try and not say lambasted. People were just going off on him saying he was a big old racist, but they don't know the context. There's the side of the story that's based in emotion, and there's a side based in fact. I personally don't think he deserves all the hate he's gotten. I don't think his company should have their name removed from the stadium. I don't think any of that should have happened. Maybe he should have like gotten a slap on the wrist or something. Maybe he should have resigned. But he didn't deserve to lose practically everything. Now, he's still going to make out okay. He owns about 51% of his own company, so he's still going to make out okay in the end. He's not broke or anything, but I don't know. If people would actually pay attention to the context of the situation, I don't think there would be this much outrage. But if I were another pizza company like Domino's right now, I'd be trying to snatch up all the ad time I can get, especially now since Papa John's is kind of out of the picture. I'd be trying to snatch up everything. I mean, in 20 years, I could be going to the Domino's Cardinal Stadium. I wouldn't want to, but yeah, Enraged Trains. He says what you're saying is that he said it like iDub says N word. And yeah, iDub says the N word. Do I agree with that? On a level, he uses it for joke fodder a lot of the time. I mean, the word itself really isn't that funny, but some people think it's funny. I guess some of my friends actually think it's funny, but I don't think it's funny all that much. But I don't think that that word should be used. But at the same time, though, people are giving that word so much power that it doesn't deserve nowadays. Like, it's a word, guys. Don't flip out. Like, I get it. It has a negative connotation in history. It has a horrible connotation in history. But unless someone's using it in a derogatory manner, like actually calling an African American that word, I don't want to say I don't see what the big deal is, because I know what the big deal is. It has a negative connotation to it. This is why I don't like to discuss this topic on stream, because I don't really have a formulated opinion about using the word. My opinion kind of flip-flops. It depends on the situation, all that stuff. But point blank, I really don't think it should be used at all. I mean, it is a word, yeah, it's only a word, but its connotation, I think, has ruined the word. Just how awful it was back in the South during those days when the word was used normally. It just, I don't think it should be used at all by anybody. Not even if you're an African American, I don't think you should be using that word. That's just me. Like I said, my opinion flip-flops on the word. It really depends on the situation for me. I personally don't use it because I think it's bad. Gumhopper is just saying a bunch of random stuff in the chat about how Diary of Wimpy Kid Roger Rules is best Wimpy Kid movie. Okay, cool. Not anything about what's going on in the stream. Come watch the LL117 live stream where we talk about racism. Yeah, dude. Hey, I was involved in the Lego community. We talked about racism in one of those episodes, and it wasn't handled very well at all. It was handled very distastefully. I'm very glad the Lego community is dead. That series was bad. Sam was a bad person. So anyway, my throat's kind of drying up, and I want to finish Extraordinary Engines tonight so I can watch a few more episodes of Danny Phantom, because I honestly think Danny Phantom is one of my new favorite cartoon shows. It's so good. So I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream here, guys. I hope you guys had a fun time. I hope this is a better live stream than the NoobCon stream was. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me. I don't have any topics to update you guys on. Basically, keep an eye out for an unboxing video coming up this Thursday. Hilton Head vlog will for sure be up next Thursday. What else? Can't think of anything else to update you guys on. Damn, I had something else, but I can't remember what it was now. I hate that. Do you guys ever like have a thought in your head that You know you want to get out. You know you want to say it. But then right as you try to say it, it just completely leaves your mind. And I guarantee you, once I end the stream, it will pop back into my head about what I wanted to update you guys on. Oh, I remember now. I apologize for this week's HMR being so late today. It wasn't an editing problem or anything. It wasn't an upload issue. That episode's been up since Sunday night. I just completely forgot to unprivate it because the vacation screwed with my head. I woke up today and it didn't even cross my mind that there was an HMR that needed to get out. If you missed it, it was unprivated an hour before the stream started. So Whale of a Tale was this week. I hope you guys enjoyed that HMR. I promise next week it will not be as late. I promise next week I will remember to unprivate it around 9 or 10 in the morning. I apologize again for that being so late. That was my bad. My fault. So anyway, it's now 10:05. It's great time. Happy birthday, Gum Robber. Happy early birthday. His birthday is on Thursday. Hey, your present is watching me unbox a couple of Funko Pops. That is my gift to you, my good man. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. I hope it was fun for you all. And yeah. That's it. Good night, everybody. All right, sweet. The stream's over. Now I can talk about how much I hate all those people who watched my stream and how I'm only doing this YouTube thing for the money. Just kidding. Bye, guys.